make a fake old glass frame picture with, we can either use these flowers I got at Hobby Lobby that are paper flowers. They come in a little package like this on that. Paper Studio. Of course, I always wait till they're on sale. And you can also do it with dried flowers, which is a very delicate process, and I would suggest you don't make the dried flowers on your first project, because it's a very delicate process and they fall apart pretty easy. So try it first with the paper flowers or a silk flower that won't fall apart on you. I like the picture frames that have the double panes in them. This is a photo or a card holder. I got this at Dollar Tree for $1.25. And when you cut it open, get it open, the two panes come out, because I'm just going to work with the one piece of glass. And that particular piece of glass, you're going to get real clean, and you're going to want to clean it for the final step with alcohol. And get all your little grubby fingerprints and whatever else may be on there off best you can. Let it dry. And your flowers, these are the paper ones I got at Hobby Lobby from the Paper Studio. And I think today I'm just going to do a simple, let's see how many of these I still have left. Oh, yeah. Something similar to that. But I think today I'm going to keep it real simple. Something like that. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut these off. Maybe cut a little off of that one. Okay, so now I kind of have my simple design, and I do suggest you do a simple design before you really get into making a lot of different techniques or different items on there. Since this is the way I'm going to put it, I am going to pull this off at a later time and date. Now, I know some of you are working the glass first and then putting it into your frame. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in my frame to work it so that I don't scrape anything off when I stick it back into this part right here. Now, if you're using a different type of frame, like this one, what I do is I go ahead and I put the frame into the back and I glue it into the frame, and then I set it aside and let the glue dry all the way, because if you don't, when you're working on it from this side, if you're going to work on the front of it, it is going to push out and your glue won't hold it. So today we're just going to work on doing something on the front. You can also do it from the back, but we're going to do our Mod Podge on the front of our paper, our glass. Okay, so now it's in there and it's set, and it's just as simple. I'm using the Mod Podge gloss today. This one is, you can use anything you want, basically. The flat, the gloss, the sparkle. This one is the Mod Podge matte type. And then this one is done with Mod Podge gloss. So you can kind of see the difference. I think most people right now are using the gloss, so that's what I'm going to use. And be very careful about working over the top of your glass, because whatever falls is going to be on there. And if you've already got the Mod Podge on there, it may become part of your decoration. So that looks like that's stirred up pretty good already. So I'm just going to take a little bit. And it doesn't take a lot. And I probably got too much. You can always add more. You can take some of it out too. And then you're just going to finger paint. And you're just going to kind of smear it around. Keep your... And if you get a little bit on the sides, you can always wipe it off. Or if you don't have too much, it'll dry. So now you have to decide what kind of texture you want on your glass pane. And I've done several different ones and I like them all. So it's just up to you. Play with it. And if you're doing it right now, you can change it any way you want. But this stuff does start setting up fairly quickly. So, you know, don't sit there and think about it for 10 minutes. I did this where I just did a finger tap all over it, and it kind of made a interesting, I did it this way on my first one, and it looked like the old-timey glass that was sticking in some parts, and that's all I did. But then I tried calling it roses all over, and that looked really nice on one, and that's just a little finger swirl. And then I did one, let's see if I've got it here. I don't. Yes, I do. That has a wave effect to it. I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but it has a wave. And all I did there was literally put a little wave in it. And it would make that type of a thing. With the sunflowers, I think I'm just going to do some swirlies. Gonna add a little more. And get close to the edge as I can. Okay, now I'm going to go back with more swirlies and see if I like that. I kind of like that. Now I'm just going to put a little extra on the back of these. And I think I'm going to start with the middle one first. Pull the leaves out a little bit. Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to put it in the back. Again, don't work over the top of it. Now, if you were doing this with the real flowers that have been dried, they would fall apart in your hand. So be kind of careful on that. That's why I like working with the paper ones first, so you can get your feel of how to do it. Now, I'm just going to stick it right there in the middle. And then I start pressing it down. Have a piece of towel or something handy to kind of get your sticky fingers wiped off. And I'm going to take my little tweezers and just kind of push it down. out so you can see. And you're going to see that it has some Mod Podge on the top of the leaves, but that will dry. Just don't have a big glob of it. And while you're working this, if you start picking it up, oh, I don't like it there, and you pick it up, it is going to mess up your bottom thing, your bottom swirls and stuff. So, you know, sometimes mistakes turn out to be really pretty, so just don't be too critical on yourself, because it's just crafts. And I can tell you, I have many a time just thrown it in the trash and started over. Don't beat yourself up. You learn something every time you make a oops. You learn something. So that's okay. Ooh, I put it in the wrong spot. All right, there I go. Got that one. And I'm just tapping it down so it has a little podge to hold it down. We'll do our last flower. And it is just as quick. Hard part is the fact that it's going to take a while for it to dry. And I give mine at least a good 24 hours. And that's the hardest part. It really is. Patience, waiting for things to dry. May not be crafters' strong suit, because we want to see the finished product. But that's why I usually have 3 or 4 projects going at the same time, because I'm always waiting for something to dry. Okay. All right. And when I get through, when it dries, I will take this part off, and I will put a little glue in here to keep the glass frame from coming out, because you don't want to work on it and then tilt it accidentally and it fall out and break. All right, I'll show you what it looks like in the next video. Clean up a little bit right in through here. Be very kind of careful. All right, here it is, 24 hours later.